things just weren't going my way. But then a star up in the sky shine on me, and now it's Christmas time in my heart. My friends were talking about the news the other day, and how high were all the bills they had to pay. Well, life's a struggle, uphill battle all the way. I just don't see how things will change, not today. But then I heard the song of angels sing to me, and a choir played all-time carols on TV. And I remember just how simple things could be, and how lucky that I am now that I see. I lost joy, I lost hope, I lost love, I lost everything. I felt tired and low, like giving up this game. The world seemed cold and dark and full of pain. I was holding on by willpower, not strain. But then my family and my friends, they gathered round, and we ate and laughed and shoot, we gained 10 pounds. And we shared a night of laughter and of joy, and felt the coming of one tiny little boy. And I remember just how simple things can be, and how lucky that I am now that I see, because a star up in the sky has shined on me. And now it's Christmas time in my heart. just how simple things can be, and how lucky that I am now that I see, because a star up in the sky has shined on me. And now it's Christmas time in my heart.
Thank you so much, Worldview Band. Dang, y'all sound good. Y'all sound real good. Yeah, thank you. So we're going to start off this morning with a moment of silence. We found out this week that Frank Connolly passed. And I don't know if you knew him, but he was a longtime member of Jubilant, a longtime Jubilant member of this community. And so today, we just want to start with a moment of silence for him, and also as our community has scattered in these times of strange times of COVID, a prayer for so many of the others that we've lost, that we maybe don't even know. Just a moment of prayer. You are so God. Amen. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. It's a sweet song. We all know it, right? It was been recorded by everybody from Johnny Mathis to Placido Domingo, right? If you guys did your youth group thing, if you were into that, you probably sang it. Let me tell you a little bit about this song. The song was written by a lady named Jill Jackson. Jill Jackson, as a young woman, tried to kill herself. And I have no earthly idea what was going on for Jill, the tumult that was in her world and her life, that she felt that life was just not even, the pain was too much to be here. I don't know what was going on. But I can tell you what she wrote about this moment. She said, "When I attempted suicide and didn't succeed, I knew for the first time unconditional love, which God is. You are totally loved, totally accepted just the way you are. In that moment that I was not allowed to die, something happened to me, which is very difficult to explain. I had an eternal moment of truth in which I knew I was loved and knew I was here for a purpose. Out of this terrible tumult and pain came this moment of deep and abiding peace for Jill. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me." And I think this experience led her to this wisdom of the song, which is God calls us to find peace out here. God calls us to create peace in the world, but first, God calls us to find peace in our own hearts. God calls us to find peace. God calls us to peace, which is to say, God calls us to feel God's peace, which is to say, God is constantly, if we will just shut up for a minute, God is calling us home. Breathe deeply. We're going to light our Advent candles this week, all 4 of them. This is it, the Sunday before Christmas. And as we light them, let's just have some silence, some good silence. And into that silence, I invite you to speak good words, words of peace, words of hope, moments and people that have reminded you of God's peace, that have reminded you that God is with us, that we are always constantly called home. Speak good words. And God has a sense of humor. There's a good one to start with, humor, laughter. Creator. Remind us. Sometimes no words are needed. Sometimes there are no good words to speak. There is only silence. And in that silence, it's you. All right, let's stand up and sing. Oh, Linda, let's do it. Come, Spirit of the East, remind us that joy and that silence and peace rarely shows up like a big band announcement. Remind us that peace comes in quietly. Sometimes just that still, small voice. Remind us, Spirit of the East. Now we turn and face the south. Come, Spirit of the South. There is all your joy and hoopla, and that can be distracting. But come, Spirit of the South. Remind us within all the hoopla and noise, you are still there, still peace. Help us to seek you, seek your peace, seek the still small voice always. And now we turn and face the west. Come, Spirit of the West. Ooh, there doesn't always seem to be a lot of peace in letting go. It's hard, Spirit of the West, but remind us. Help us to find the sweet, sweet release. And now we turn and face the north. Come, Spirit of the North. The cold, cold winds. The longest night of the year this week. Our solstice. The longest, darkest day, and you are still here, and you are still here, and you are still here. Now we turn and look across the circle. Faces that are maybe feeling peaceful, or maybe not. Faces that have offered peace to the world, and probably had some moments that they offered less than peace. Which is to say, we are all and we're all human here together. Our community, Jubilee. And we reach up to the sky and down to the earth. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It came upon a midnight clear. Sure did. Let's sing it.
Glorious song of war, from angels standing near the earth to touch their hearts of
Susie, turn on the mic.
Hello? Hello, this is Susie, little Susie Loo-Hoo from Whoville. Okay, we got a lot going on. This is Christmas time, so of course we've got a lot going on. The celebration for Christmas Eve is happening at 5 and at 9, and you need to make reservations. We're trying to manage this COVID situation as best as we can, and we're going to allow, I think it's 120 people in here. It's still a lot of people, but if we're masked and we're trying to be distanced, and please, if you don't want to hug, just prayer hands. Everybody understands. You're not going to hurt anybody's feelings. So please make your reservations at the Jubilee website. I tell you what, that website has got it all. So if you want to know what's going on in Jubilee, just go to jubileecommunity.org, and it's all there. We want to give many thanks to all our generous jubilants who have been providing the Christmas giving tree gifts for the foster children. Tomorrow from 10 to 3 is the last time to drop off your gifts here at 46 Wall Street. I don't have an update on Yona, but he has... Okay, so he is doing the solstice on Tuesday night here at 7 o'clock. He's been in the hospital. He's had some health issues, but he's on the mend and apparently feels well enough to lead us in the solstice. Janice Lape's watercolors are in the hospitality room, and they are for sale. She is generously donating a percentage of the sales to Jubilee. So please take a look and see if there's something you just can't live without. If you're interested in gifting someone a piano workshop with Daniel Barber, he is donating 50% of the proceeds to the Hunger Fund. So please get in touch with Daniel, and again, that's on the website. If you'd like to join the racial equity team or participate in their book discussion group, please contact Melody LeBaron. Melody, are you here? No, okay. And please don't forget to make your pledge for 2022. You can fill out a card here, or you can use the form on the website. It's really easy to do. Just jubileecommunity.org. And that's it for Jubilee in Action. Thank you. Oh. Okay, Mary?
This is very strange, but very wonderful. I was awakened at 2 in the morning with this announcement.
Can you go to the mic, please?
Yes, I'd like to go to the microphone. Here's your my inspiration.
Oh boy.
My name is Mary Stair. I'm one of the founding mamas of this place. And another jubilant named Maggie Schlubach, many years ago, hired me for another inspiration that she had. But mine was at 2 this morning because of Maggie, but mostly because of Howard. The inspirations from Howard came through the La Zoom bus and Christmas caroling. And with my friend Maggie, who used to be here all the time, I learned how to play about 150 Christmas songs because I was her accompanist for 7 years in the Grove Park Inn for hundreds of people who sang with us. So I could play these things with my eyes closed. What I was wakened with at 2 and couldn't go back to sleep till 3 was, let's sing Christmas carols to people that need to hear Christmas carols. And for us who need to sing them, like Lauren had us singing those just a moment ago. And if someone here can help me with a power cord to go snaking out the door, I can bring a Roland keyboard and make beautiful music, and we could come on Christmas afternoon and on Sunday afternoon, and maybe even after the 5 o'clock Christmas Eve service. I don't know. That was not in my inspiration. Who knew? But and if you know some people that we need to go sing to, or some places, my last name is Stair, and I'm online as a member of this wonderful place for over 30 years. So join me in a 2 o'clock inspiration with thanks to Howard Hanger and Maggie Schlubach, and all those people who brought forward these ancient carols that we could sing. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, you guys. And our next, oh, there's one more announcement. Oh, sorry, I thought we were done. Never mind. I'll step back.
Not quite. Hi, I'm Vineet, co-leader of the social justice team here at Jubilee. And I'm happy to announce that 40 Afghan families are resettling here in Asheville starting very soon in mid-January. Jubilee is forming our own circle of welcome to help out a specific family. And we've got to get this together pretty quick here. So we're seeking volunteers and a point person, if possible, to help out with basic needs, such as finding housing for them, giving them rides, mentoring, assisting with medical appointments and food shopping, home maintenance, learning English, etc. I'll have a list of all of the different needs posted on the social justice bulletin board out here, and a place where you can contact me. However little or much you can offer will be greatly appreciated. You'll experience the satisfaction of a very tangible contribution. Thank you.
Thanks, Vineet. Thanks, everybody. Jubilee is action. Action, Jubilee. So our next gift is from Michelle Smith. And you can't see, but Michelle has a very boo-booed leg. She had surgery, so we're just going to let her give her gift right from here.
Hey everybody, thank you. Blessed solstice to you all. On the wheel of the year, the 8 holy days of the indigenous Celtic tradition, we've been in the void since Samhain, Day of the Dead, All Hallows. And on Tuesday, we arrive at the winter solstice and the beginning of the Via Creativa. The solstice is not a day. The solstice is a moment. It's a moment that happens because of a cosmic relationship between the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon and our planet. Our planet is situated in the perfect relationship for the earth to pull off the miracle of turning light into sugar. And that's why there's life on this planet. That's why there's a building, and that's why there's each of us, and that's why there's food to eat, and that's why there's this microphone in my hand. The return of the light is a moment. The earth is tilting, 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 and then she pauses. And she turns. And our ancestors noticed these moments because they remembered that we are part of this miracle from which life emerges. Relish the pause. Don't rush the darkness. Find that peace. The wheel will turn. The light isn't really gone anywhere. We seem to be changing, but there's an unchanging source of creativity and beauty and guidance. On solstice, we hang in the balance. Like Mother Night, we have been made pregnant by the great darkness, and now we sit in vigil to birth the waxing year. If the sun agrees to return, it will be just seconds earlier than the day before, holding like a tiny seed the promise of summer. Now that the leaf covers down, the bears, the groundhogs, the eastern chipmunks have dug into their winter sleeping lairs. Noisy flocks of crows and blue jays and robins gather at the margins of the fields. The winter forms of the hop merchant butterfly have drunk their last drop of the year's sun and rest in diapause. Tiny screech owls are calling from the woods on still nights, and soon yearling bucks will lose their antlers. The forest floor is bright with winter's light, and now the subtle magic greens appear. Rattlesnake plantain, wild ginger, partridge berry, running cedar, pipsissewa. Our hollies and groundsel trees and native magnolias also have their color. There's still fruit hanging from the tree and vine in December, catbrier, sumac, mistletoe, and the winter buds of witch hazel. Winged elm and maple are about to swell and break dormancy and enter into the great dance of procreation. Let us mine the darkness and welcome the season of light, Saturnalia, Dionysia. Above us, Orion chases the daughters of Atlas across the sky. Solstice tells us that none are safe unless all are safe. We must be about building communities of resilience. We must shelter the goddess, stand for the right. May our words congregate and fly like the winter visitations of brown creepers, hermit thrushes, our juncos, our chickadees, and our white-throated sparrows. Let us kindle our fire this solstice in the presence of all the holy ones, without malice, without jealousy, without envy, but with the presence of the holy fire to empower us and inspire us. May there be kindled within us this solstice night a flame of love to our neighbor, to our foe, to our friend, to our families, to all the children of every species, everywhere, forever. And so it is. Blessed be. Oh yeah.
Thank you, Michelle. Let's just rest in her words for a minute. All those creatures, all of that life doing what it needs to do, resting, becoming hush, becoming stillness as it's meant to be. Solstice may be an astronomical blip, but so are we. We're just these little astronomical blips, or little names, astronomical blips. But it takes a while. And we savor this while. And during our time, there's this strife, this struggle. Do we measure it in that? Do we measure it in love? That's a choice. It's a choice, and each person's to make. I think this season is about love, and about hope, and about peace, as you define it. We're going to go into the stillness and go into the prayer time. After that, we'll have a blessing for someone who could use a little bit of extra blessing in a really good way. So grab your bowls and bells. We do have new protocol for the Western Wall, one person at a time, but we're going back into the Western Wall. So breathe deeply. Let's pray together. Savor this moment of stillness. It sounds kind of like that. Savor this moment of inner peace, expanding ever outward. Savor this moment of community, community that begins with you. Savor the coming midnight clear. Breathe deeply. So, as you are comfortable, I'm going to invite you to hold hands. And if not, maybe bump elbows, or you can put your hands up like this. Just give a little namaste. There is a jubilant here who is so dynamic and has given so much to Jubilee, but if you don't know her, she doesn't advertise it. She does not make it known. She's not one of these people that says, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. She's just sneaky about it. She's sneaky, but in the best of ways. Alexandra Narano. She has been accepted to UNC Chapel Hill Master's Program. Before she leaves, she's going home to Ecuador. So, we want to send you our love, our blessings, our thanks. Alexandra, Jubilee, repeat after me. Alexandra.
Alexandra.
Once a jubilant, always a jubilant.
Once a jubilant, always jubilant.
We love you.
We love you.
We bless you.
We bless you.
We savor you.
We savor you.
Enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey.
Tell us about it.
Tell us about it.
God bless you, Alexandra.
God bless you, Alexandra.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, after the music plays, I invite you to share God's peace.
Still, still, one can hear the falling snow. For all is hushed, the world is sleeping.
I don't know. Okay.
Breathe deeply. Let's do it again. Breathe deeply. And one more, because we're talking about peace this morning. Breathe deeply. All right. Now hear these ancient words. Yes, we got it. The Lord says, I have set Israel's people free, and they will come and sing for joy on Mount Zion and be delighted with my gifts. They will be like a well-watered garden. They will have everything that they need. I'll leave. And from Starhawk, she writes, the great mother goes into labor tonight to bring forth the child of light, the new sun, the new era, the new day. We support her efforts with our gatherings, our chants, our songs, our ceremonies, and the real work we each do, our own labors towards the great turning. Change always requires sacrifice, letting go of something, if only our old destructive ways of being. But every loss, every emptiness opens the way for something new to be born. In the darkness, the seed takes root, and the new sprout pushes towards the light. And in the dark of the womb, the spark of life is kindled. Out of the longest night, a new day is born. And from the New Testament. Soon afterwards, Mary got ready and hurried off to a town in the hill country of Judea. She went to Zachariah's house and greeted Elizabeth. When Elizabeth heard Mary's greeting, the baby within her moved. Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Spirit and said in a loud voice, you are the most blessed of all women, and blessed is the child you will bear. How should this great thing happen to me, that my Lord's mother comes to visit me? For as soon as I heard your greeting, the baby within me jumped with gladness. How happy you are to believe that the Lord's message will come true. This is ancient wisdom and holy word. Thanks be to all that is wise and holy. All creation is wisdom and holy word.
All creation sings wisdom to God. Hallelujah.
And now we have our very own amazing and miraculous man to come and offer our message this morning, Joslin.
Yeah, now I got it really deeply. Oh, good morning. So in theory, 1 in 12 of you should be a Sagittarius. Raise your hands if you're a Sag. Okay, oh, Sag descendant, that works. Okay, moon signs could be too. All right. So I'm not looking for any extra accolades for being born. That credit goes to my mom. Hi, Mom. My birthday is 2 weeks before the winter solstice. In 2018, I did something different, something for me, for a change. I went to Vieques, a little island off the coast of Puerto Rico. It was warm. I mean, hot in December. And I loved it. I loved every minute of it. But a whole, schlock of gray hair later, this year, I chose to embrace the cold and dark. Now, my friends who know that I do not like the cold were like, who even is this man? What are you doing? Why are you going to New England? But that's what I decided to do. I went to New England. I went to Maine a couple of weeks ago to visit my bestie, and then I went to Vermont to explore. And yeah, it was cold, really cold. I couldn't move my knuckles at one point. And the sun, and I loved it. I was surprised at the challenge of savoring this weird kind of not so normal, comfortable thing. The frigidity of navigating these weird little hairpin roads where the ice was, I don't know where it is. I mean, this rental car, the cell signal's kind of iffy, but who knows? There's something interesting about the challenge. Maybe it was because I underpacked warm stuff. I don't know. I gave myself the gift of adaptation. By pushing with openness, inner peace took over anxiety, worry, fear. Like, you know, that kind of average, everyday, existential dread that I'm sure all of you live with. Okay, maybe that's just me. Accepting what is, the choices made, saying yes to hard things. I contend the inner peace is an inevitable result of saying yes to hard things. As the old hymn goes that we sang a minute ago, let peace begin with me, with us. Now, I've asked around, it doesn't seem to work otherwise. Peace begins here. Breathe deeply. Now, if we're going to talk peace, have ritual for peace, we must name what makes peace impossible for many. Anxiety disorder. Now, I'm not kidding here. If you want peace to begin with yourself, we got to name this thing that, like, I know with me, I've been living with this label most of my life. So, what is peace? The longest time, I couldn't conceive of what this thing was. Because, I don't know, imagine Earth soaking in a lavender-soaked bubble bath. Or something on the news where you've got warring factions signing a treaty. I can't even get the warring factions within myself to settle down. But I was told that the way through all this is through, well, you got your medication, you got therapy, you got all these other various things that you can do, like, you know, sex, drugs, rock and roll, other compulsions, or, oh yeah, there's religion too. Religion and anxiety do a brisk trade. Now, especially in the ancient days, when many cultures, it was common that winter was when the gods would come to destroy the world. Now, that would have been great for me. Okay, when's God coming to destroy the world? I better get some more religion. So perhaps for exactly that reason, from China to Egypt, from Greenland to Latin America, the winter solstice brought out the most joyous and raucous and wild festivals. The darkening days and the longer nights changed the movements. All living things, just like Michelle talked about. That's nature. Nature looked over by moons and the shooting stars like we saw this past week. Certainly these rhythms made gods from seasons. And harvests granted those gods their approval. The continuity in these patterns reinforced calm to young and old, from tiny hut to teeming city. Trusting these natural processes gave assurance, peace, and understandable everyday scales. Here come the gray clouds. Here comes a little bit of frost. I know it's coming. It's time to plant this, it's time to pull up that. Understandable everyday scales. Meanwhile, when conflict does begin, it's on the edges of what can't be understood among those impatient to abide with the indefinite, Not much change in a few millennia, but our operating system does tend to crash a lot more. So, we all begin without definition. In the dark, the womb is our first comfort before a bang, before that shot of light. The great mother, our mother, goes into labor. She is our first goddess. And the creation story, our creation story, begins. Darkness and light. And as we grow, we are overprotected against the night, right? We're in a constant glowing smog. And the creatures around us that are dependent upon the night sky are losing the stars. Isn't it time that we stop being afraid of the dark? Because we've been told that the dark is dangerous, that word itself carries historical pain, especially for people of color. And we should fix that. Darkness is natural. Because we've been fed nonstop, constant news of unrest, we forget that peace is far more normal in human history than conflict. We should fix that. Let's bring up better storytellers. The Advent story of a miracle child from a miracle womb of acceptance, serenity, and grace has a cadence that's older than Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. And we still follow that compelling star as the story replenishes inner peace before winter's coming challenge. Rainer Maria Rilke writes, "Let this darkness be a bell tower, and you the bell. Let this darkness be a bell tower, and you the bell. As you ring, what batters you becomes your strength. Move back and forth with the change," he wrote. Move back and forth into the change. With great joy or weariness, or both, we have been moving back and forth into the change, jubilants. And we bells were struck in darkness. The battering we withstood became our strength, and perhaps with great reluctance. No doubt, we've got some conspicuous jitters. Hopefully not too many in the room right now. It's a little quiet. That's all right. But jitters about Jubilee's future? Yeah. Jitters about our culture? Yes. Jitters about the nation? Jitters about the planet? Yes. Yet, we are bells being rung. The word peace derives from binding together. So we've got this, right? We've got this binding together. And look, binding together, it's not easy in any size clump of people. But that's why peace is a practice. Peace is a practice. Jubilee is practicing peace right now by having conversations within ourselves about healing from within by acknowledging our own pain. It may be hard, we know. The road may be muddy and rough. But we got to take good care of ourselves first before we get there. We got to take good care of ourselves. Look, peace is not only possible, it's natural. It's the historical norm for all humans everywhere on earth. War is the extreme exception. Today, we lit the peace candle. It may flicker for the concerning conditions of the planet, or for our turbulent nation, or for this beloved community. It may flicker for you. Yes to all of these. And yes to the hard work for each one of us. And yes to the hard work asked of us. Winter happens regardless, but in ritual, we choose winter, which means we're choosing spring. Saying yes to the absence of light gives the returning of light that much more meaning. The ancient and modern customs of Yule, of culling the bears, and the many other rituals around the world matters greatly in what they do for the future of our spirituality. Everyday people in interfaith dialogue over the past generation may have done more to advance the cause of peace than 5 generations of conferences. Everyday people online. Evolving our spiritual creativity begins here, too, in your heart. By affirming that our experience, your experience of the divine is just as valid and just as worth celebrating. Celebrating with bells. Solstice bells. Let's ring some. Even when it doesn't seem right or fair or out of place, let the bells of peace ring anywhere and everywhere. Let us ring the bells of peace by approaching one another when our emotions are most raw, when we understand each other the least, when pain seems to divide us the most. Let us find peace in places as far away as Palestine and as close as Bletchley Boulevard, where there are overdose deaths every single day in Buncombe County. Let us find it by volunteering with the newly arriving Afghan families, with their kids, with singing with those that need to hear Christmas carols and holding an elder's hand. Let us find peace in the nooks of our heart in quiet 3 a.m. celebration. Inner peace expanding ever outward. Inner peace expanding ever outward. When I was in New England, I visited the memorial in Salem, Massachusetts, to the Salem witch trials. There was a soundtrack to it, I guess. It was a slate gray rainy day, and the place was empty. Names were carved in the stones, along with the details of their deaths. It should not have been what you would call peaceful. Yet it was. It was so peaceful, enveloped in calm, as if their souls were reaching through time, through their descendants, to say, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with you, with you, with you. Offerings were left behind on the stones, and I offered more tears than expected, realizing how much work I have to do. Inner peace must expand ever outward, and I have offerings to make at my own inner memorials, and inner memorials I still have to build, some that are extremely overdue. If we're to bring resolution to our little home in eternity, it begins with truth and reconciliation in the heart. Friends, that may be the roughest labor there is. The roughest labor in the world. Yet it comes with the labor that birthed this old world. This blue star. And this blue star may only ever need more peace because we are more inspired than ever in fulfilling it. Let's ring out solstice bells.
Ring out these solstice bells. Ring out these solstice bells.
And you got anything for us? A quick little ditty if you get finish up these bowls? Let's do it. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Jay. Thank you so much. All right, let's stand up and send ourselves out to this week. Hold hands as we feel called. And we're going to say, here we come, God. Here we come, God. That's right. Repeat after me. Here we come, God. Here we come, God. Is this week going to be crazy?
It's gonna be crazy.
Heck yeah, it's Christmas.
Heck yeah, it's Christmas.
Is this week going to be dark? Heck yeah, it's solstice.
Heck yeah, it's so good.
Amid the craziness and the darkness, say it. Will there be peace to be found?
Peace be found.
Yes, there will be peace to be found. We're going to go out there and find it and bring it to the world. Oh, yeah.
Send a little lamb to the shepherd boy. Do you hear what I hear? Ringing through the sky, shepherd boy. Do you hear what I hear? A song, high above the trees, with a voice as big as the sea, with a voice as big as the sea. Send a little lamb to the shepherd boy. Do you hear what I hear? Ringing through the sky, shepherd boy. Do you hear what I hear? A song, high above the trees, with a voice as big as the sea, with a voice as big as the sea. Mother, there's too many of you crying. Oh, brother, 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 there's far too many of you dying. No, we got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Father, Father, we don't need to escalate. You see, war is not the answer, for only love can conquer it. You know we've got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Picket lines and picket signs punish me with brutality. Talk to me so you can see what's going on. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Everybody thinks we're wrong, but who are they to judge us simply 'cause our hair is long? Oh, you know we've got to find a way to bring some understanding here today. Picket lines, picket signs, punish me with brutality. On talk to me so you can see what's going on.
Thank you.